Hello everyone, and welcome back to Warships Blitz with Terry. Today, I'm being joined by a destroyer, who is in a carrier, because of course he is. And he has asked me to, and everybody else really, to give a bit of feedback on his carrier gameplay. Now, I'm not sure I'm the most qualified person, but I'll do the best I can. I mean, you know me, I'm not that great at carrier play yet. I'm still practicing. So let's take a look. Destroyer here is playing in the first game the Independence, and he's bottom tier in a tier 7 game. There's a New Mexico, a Dunkirk, a Duca, Dallas, and an Aka and a Farragut on the enemy team, and he's teamed up against another Independence. So let's go and see what he can pull off. So Independence, I haven't played the Independence myself yet. She's the next one after the Bogue that I'm currently bogged down with. See what I did there? Anyway, okay, so he's pulling his fighters out at the beginning of the match to the far corner of the map. I wouldn't have pulled them all that far. I would have pulled them over a cap that I wanted to investigate, or probably over B cap, just to get them to engage something. And he's sending out his torpedo bombers as well. Now, you're sending them. You see the fighters? Yeah, there he goes. Okay, now you realize the fighters actually are needed over here to engage. I wouldn't send the ship. I wouldn't normally send them around straight through the middle, because you're going to be running into a hell of a lot of enemy AA. Now, this is a tier 7 game, and there's a Duca out there and a Dallas who have some AA capabilities. Now he's trying to drop the Farragut, but he's got the problem that his torpedo bombers are dropping too close. You see that? The torpedoes might have hit, but they haven't been able to arm. The Farragut has done the exact right thing and turned into the torpedoes. Now the fighters are going to get shot down by the Dallas there if they're going to stay, so they're actually probably worth recalling them, which I think is what he's doing. So that's the right move here. Now, where's he going to go from here? He's got some dive bombers out, and both destroyers are spotted. One of the battleships goes over to C, so he decides he needs to relocate, get a bit closer to the action, which I think is the right move. And I would focus on a ship. So for example here, yes, he's focusing on the Aka. Unfortunately there's a Duca and a Dallas over there, so again, the AA is a little bit concentrated in that way. So he decides to go for the Dunkirk. Dunkirk has a decent AA as well, so it's at this stage it's really important to sink something. Especially that Akatsuki there. I would have focused on the destroyer, because the destroyer is threatening these two battleships on our left flank, which means if he breaks through there, he gets to the carrier. Okay, so that drop is sitting, because the Dunkirk is well, basically being a sitting duck. The Dunkirk's dead at this point. So the New Mexico has realized that there is an Akatsuki over there and is pulling back. And it looks like we're making some headway over C, but there's a battleship battling the other destroyer. So yes, that Akatsuki definitely needs to die. Okay, no, he's dead now. You don't need to send any torpedo bombers out for him. He's very much dead. Okay, there we go. The Dallas is wouldn't be the primary target I would go for, because first of all, again, American light cruiser has somewhat decent AA, not as good as the heavy cruisers, but somewhat decent AA. But good focus. Just making sure that he's sending everything after the ship. The torpedo drop looks decent. Yeah, that's 3 hits. Not bad, not bad. But the Dallas is running. Now it is important to kill ships, but
attack target.
Yeah, you might be wasting quite a bit of time going that far. Plus he gets fighter cover. So I would have probably gone for the battleship in the center, because the right flank is a bit under threat there. I mean, the enemy team is 2 ships down, so there goes the Atlanta takes out the Farragut. Okay, so that battleship is safe. Okay, at this point, I think it's the game is almost concluded. Again, I would have attacked the battleship in the center in C cap, just to make sure we're not getting under any threat from things. He's still chasing the Dallas. It's fair enough, right? You're trying to get a kill, and I would have let the dive bombers do this and set the torpedoes bombers out against the battleship in the center. So I have no idea what the health is of these 2 ships in Sea Cup on our side. Okay, yep. You see, this is why Atlanta can just thread the needle there. There come the dive bombers, and they catch her. Okay. Just let the dive bombers handle it. A light cruiser like that can dodge torpedoes relatively easily. Okay, and we've lost something in Sea Cup. So, well, that New Mexico there is dead as well. Okay, so that just leaves the carrier. So all in all, I'd say pretty well done. Maybe focus a little bit. I would use the fighters defensively in the beginning and make sure you spot all the enemy destroyers and make sure they're not getting through. Because just spotting destroyers can be hugely helpful for your team. And then just focus fire on whatever ship makes most sense to focus on. So, for example, trying to hit destroyers with torpedo bombers is very difficult unless you're really, really good at what you're doing. So if there's a battleship that's kind of sitting in the center, she might be better suited to be dropped by your torpedo bombers, which is what he did with the Dunkirk. So. Again, like I said, all in all, I don't think this is a bad play of anything. I think that the team has pretty much ruffle stomped the enemy team, which is why it didn't really have a chance to do a lot more damage than it did. Okay, that independence is just sitting there and taking it. But I would generally try to keep the destroyers spotted. But if there's somebody else, like a cruiser, who's capable of dealing with them, then I would focus my planes on targets that I'm more certain to hit, and do things like double chaps. So if you manage to set a ship on fire and they damage con, then get the torpedo bombers in to get a permaflood, stuff like that. So that Ernst-Gede is going to eat a couple torps, but that's not enough. And 10 seconds left. He's just going to take out the Independence because you see he's. Yeah, he's up there. He goes. He's run into the side of the map here, but good positioning, right? It's almost important to get as close and as safely as close as you can to island cover, and make sure that you're in a position to both optimize your damage output by closing in the distance, and still making sure that you're safe. Anyway, let's move on to the second one. Alright, in this battle. Destroyer here in the carrier is sailing the tier 5, the Zuiho, and he's divisioned up with the Nicholas. He's up against an enemy Zuiho, which is a Legendary League player, so they probably have a little bit of an idea of what they're doing. And we're playing Silent Shoal on the enemy team. They are top tier. No, sorry, they're bottom tier again. There's an Arizona over there, a New Mexico, a Nürnberg, a Königsberg, a Gnevny, and a Farragut. So lots of light cruisers which don't have particularly great AA and should make very good targets. Plus, these in this map with this island cover, destroyers can break through rather easily. So one of the most important things, in my opinion, with carriers at the beginning is to spot the enemy destroyers. Now again, he doesn't have fighters, but he's sending his dive bombers out all the way across the map. I wouldn't send them straight. I would send them around the flanks for 2 reasons. First, the destroyers are not going to go through the center of the map, most likely. No destroyer goes there, it's a kill zone. The destroyers will go around the islands on the left and right and try to run your flanks. So the other reason, you're running into everybody's AA this way, because this is where the bulk of the enemy ships is going to sit. But I mean, that said, the Königsberg is a good target. And I would focus the torpedo bombers on the König. Now, don't drop the Arizona, because the Königsberg is just damage controlled. So if you were able to do a torpedo drop onto the Königsberg, and they would have caused a flooding, then she would be permaflooding. But, okay, there's the Farragut. And rightfully so, and Farragut is... Oh, the enemy carrier has an acute case of CV sniping. This happens a lot. Note that we haven't spotted the Gnevny yet, and the Farragut's gone unspotted as well. The team is deploying extremely defensively. Our destroyers are doing nothing to scout. So in this sort of scenario, you really need to scout as a carrier and make sure you actually keep them spotted. It's not so much important to get the damage out, but you need to find these destroyers here. Nürnberg, yep, good target. Dangerous player. Dangerous ship. So, and again, I would have used the torpedo bombers. Well, yeah, the Arizona is an okay target to shoot at, but given that you're already dropping the Nürnberg, I would have tried to focus. Okay, destroyer spotted. There's the Gnevny. This is what I said. They will come around the sides. Yep, and he realizes it, and it's like, okay, we need to kill that guy. So, torpedo bombers again dropping the Arizona. The Arizona isn't even part of the battle at this point. He's too far away. Now, he gets the ship moving slowly. There's the flood on the Arizona. He gets the ship moving slowly. His planes are out. He could have started shooting at this point. I mean, you're spotted anyway. But he's just positioning himself such that the Gnevny is dead, right? He ran way too much. He ran into the whole defensive setup here. So the Gnevny takes out the Nicholas, and the Farragut takes out the Gnevny. Okay, that's the Gnevny done. There's another destroyer, and we don't know where he is. There's that Nürnberg again. These battleships over there are in a long-range slugging duel. Our destroyers are still... We've lost one destroyer. I think that was his division mate. The other destroyer is trying to engage in Nürnberg, which is not a good engagement you want to have in a destroyer, so he could definitely use some help. And again, right call. I would have dropped from the other side, and definitely not gone back to the ship, but there's the Farragut. Again, this is what I said earlier. He's trying to redirect, he's sending out his torpedo planes this way, and redirecting them. So, because nobody scouted him, the Farragut was able to sneak around the flank. Now, can the Farragut do anything about that? At this point, you need to... Torpedo bombers are not necessarily a great choice, but this is not a terrible drop, a little bit far away. But the Farragut has some time to turn in, but he takes 1-2 torps. Now, you're being rushed by a Farragut. What do? Well, you turn, you use your guns, Farragut smokes up. He's gonna get torps away. You can almost guarantee that. So, full-on turn, dive bomber drop, and I would have gotten out of plane view at this point. Torpedo bombers are just no use. You're not going to be able to do. Okay, the Farragut has completely fluffed his torpedoes. These are going 2 spreads. He is weaponless at this point because his torpedoes he's got torpedoes on the other side, but for now he is unarmed, and unless he's turning around, not really going to do much. So yeah, guns. Use the guns. In these kind of fights, I personally like using dive bombers and guns. Could have possibly used armor piercing here, but I have no experience with that. Yeah, dive bombers out. Just screw the torpedo bombers. You can use them to just kind of throw the destroyer off, but I wouldn't try to really control them very much. No, there's no need anyway. The destroyer is dead. Okay, so what has transpired in the rest of the battle so far? We're ahead in points. The enemy team has lost both destroyers. There was a Nürnberg somewhere on the flank. I don't know where that one went. But there's a Königsberg on medium health being shot at by a Pensacola, so he's probably not going to last very long. You don't even need to worry about him. Your team's got this one. Scout the other flank at this point, because there was a Nürnberg there, and we only have 2 out of 4 ships spotted. Okay, we've got the battleship spotted, we've got the Königsberg spotted. We know that the carrier isn't anywhere near here. But where's the Nürnberg gone? She was over in the flank somewhere, near up there. She is. Okay, carrier is dropping. I don't know what he's dropping. He's probably dropping. Still trying to drop him, and that's again a good dodge. But there's a Nürnberg, so that Nürnberg's shooting at. I don't know. He's probably trying to kill. Yeah, that Nürnberg needs to die. He's on low health, and again he calls it out. Right call. So planes out. And there's a second set of dive bombers. Yeah, there we go. And there comes the other one. Okay. And the torpedo bombers. Again, well, there's one battleship over there, which is probably going to be dead. Yes, the Nürnberg isn't even shooting at us, so... yeah, you can use torpedo bombers in this scenario, even if just to throw his aim off. And that's too close, because he's turning in. He's turning in, so you need to drop ahead of the turn, and if you reposition your torpedo bomber, they do the loop around. So a lot of people told me in the comments, yeah, these torpedoes are probably not going to hit. A lot of people told me in the comments to use the return to carrier function and then get them to line up again. So we won this. Actually, relatively close game, only 60 points difference. Well done. It was scrappy. If there was something I probably would have done differently, and would have been to make sure the destroyers get spotted, especially on this map, because it has so much island cover, and you can island hop with destroyers without being spotted relatively easily, and come around from unexpected directions and threaten the enemy team and get behind the lines. and then just cause all manner of havoc, getting people out of their firing positions, getting people to maneuver wildly, and all these sort of things. But other than that, well played. I think that that was pretty well done, actually. And maybe the other thing, try to do this. Try to play them for damage over time. So if you manage to set something on fire with a dive bomber, wait until they control the fire, and then drop another dive bomber on them or drop torpedo bombers on them. But focus down targets rather than spreading out the firepower among different targets, because it's easy for two ships to damage control independently. Whereas if you can get a perma damage onto one ship, that will just tick up over time, and that'll increase the damage you're doing quite a bit. And airdrop torpedoes have a really good chance of causing flooding. So, yeah, these are the things you can do. Anyway, thanks so much to Destroyer for sending these in, and that's it for today. I hope you all have a good day. And if you've got any better ideas and more comments, I think he would appreciate if you just left them down below, because that's what he was asking for originally. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Bye.